Hello, and welcome to
Papi Approved Movies.
My name is Papi.
And I'm Natalie.
In our podcast, review and critique my favorite PG-13 movies.
Movies that I wasn't allowed to watch until I turned 13.
Once a month, Natalie and I will watch a new PG-13 movie.
And I'll see if Papi's movies live up to the hype.
Which, of course, they will.
Today we're going to be watching Red Dawn.
Before we begin, there will be spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie and don't want it to be spoiled.
Press pause and come back when you're finished. Now, Papi, tell me the deets on this movie.
Hello, Natalie. How are you?
Good. My book just arrived, so I'm really happy.
And parts 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 come on Wednesday, right?
Yes. I'm inputting it into the website now. A new book added.
Nice. Red Dawn came out in 1984 with a runtime of 1 hour and 54 minutes. Not streaming anywhere. We had to rent it on iTunes. We couldn't even rent it on Amazon. I had to connect our church Apple TV. And we had to rent it on iTunes. The first time we ever did that. It's pretty simple, actually.
I don't know. I didn't appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a little complicated. It's written by Kevin Reynolds and John Milius. And directed by John Milius. Main stars are Patrick Swayze, C. Thomas Howell, and Leah Thompson. Fun facts, this is the first movie to be ever given a PG-13 rating.
Interesting.
So this is like very important for our podcast because we watch all PG-13 movies.
Or else our podcast wouldn't be made. But that must mean that this movie was like so, like they were like, I don't know. Like it was so confusing on what area to put it in. They had to make its own section.
It wasn't this movie. I think it was one of the Indiana Jones movie. I think the first one, Raiders of the Lost Ark, where it's pretty, like they're fighting Nazis and there's like someone's face melts. And I think people were like, I think we should have another rating other than just PG. And then they created the PG-13, and this is the first one that came out that had it. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about this the other day in English class. We were reading a book, and the reading level on the book is like 5th grade. It's like a 5th grade level book, but we're only allowed to read it now because of the content. So, like, it's
the reading
so
level.
dark that it's like that kids aren't allowed to read it, but we're allowed to read it, even though the reading level is like for like 4th and 5th graders.
And just easy words.
Yeah, so I was thinking that some movies might be comprehensible by kids, but just because they're violent and
thematic.
stuff.
Yeah.
Or thematic, that it would be better to have a different rating.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of the time people think that the rating, like, oh, it's rated R because it's like the kids won't understand all that's going on, or like they're gonna ask questions and stuff,
A perfect example of this is La Vita è Bella. So adorable movie, very cutesy, so much fun, so much happiness, very PG, but it's in World War II, concentration camp, and people are being killed. That made sense to be a PG movie, but since the theme was so dark, then it made sense to make it a PG-13 movie. So what did you think of the movie?
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
I was, first of all, very confused. I guess because it's from the kids' perspective, they don't really explain what's going on because they don't know either. But
yeah, like some people come in every so often and kind of, one of the parents comes in and tells them a little bit of what's going on. And then the lieutenant comes in and tells them a little bit. So they really are kind of lost. You're right.
But it made me confused. And I'm like, why am I confused when I'm watching the movie? Like, I should know. They should tell me. And then I also just thought that they shoved the 2 girls in for really no reason. Mm-hmm. And I thought, like, that would have been fine if they were like, hey, we have 2 girls as hostages, take them. And they're like, okay. And they join the force. But they kind of just used them to make romantic plots. It was like, why couldn't they just be normal characters?
They didn't really end up hooking with anyone.
No, but both girls were used as romantic interests. And it didn't really have a purpose in the story.
Well, only one. I mean,
2.
Okay, so there's 2 girls.
Yeah.
We'll go over. There's Tony and Erica. Uh-huh. One of them falls in love with the lieutenant. And the other one doesn't fall in love with anybody.
Yeah, she falls in love with the main guy. And they lay together and she like pours like orange on his head and like.
Oh, they were messing around, but I didn't see that they were together.
No, they I think they even like laid together and like kissed maybe.
No, I don't think she was with him. And the other girl wanted to be with the guy, but he had a wife. They were kind of flirting. She says, "I will never love again when he dies." Right? Very dramatic. But they don't ever show them hooking up.
Well, that doesn't really matter. A romance doesn't have to be just hooking up.
When I watched this movie back in the million years ago, I was super confused by the ending. And I still am. Because it kind of just ended. Like in the middle of whatever. I didn't understand it. And we'll go over when we get to it. When I watched this movie, I thought about you. And I thought, you're going to like this movie because there really was no romance. There was no kissing in the movie.
No, I really disliked it.
What'd you rate it?
I gave it a 1.5 star.
So the worst rating you've ever... This is tied with the worst rating you've ever given.
Yeah.
See, this movie is as good as Austin Powers.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Wow.
I'd actually say Austin Powers is probably more entertaining.
Whoa. Well, I think Austin Powers is pretty funny too. There's a lot of funny stuff in there. I'm just shocked that you didn't like it at all. This movie is for the time period. Although they did do a remake with Chris Hemsworth as the main character.
I also found the lead character, who's played by Patrick Swayze, insufferable.
I agree with that.
And I really don't like when there's unlikable main characters. And I get that usually that's a point for like character development, but I feel like nothing developed with him. He was a jerk through the whole movie.
He was. Yeah. I agree. I didn't necessarily like Patrick Swayze, but I did like the movie. I thought it was pretty entertaining. And I think also being a child of I was born in the 70s, but in the 80s, where we thought like the Russians were going to attack us like any moment now, like it was a real fear. A movie like this, I don't know, it made sense to us. And to you, it does not, because you're like, that's ridiculous. Lasers would have blown those guys out of the sky way before they got here.
No, I don't think so. All right, we get into the recap.
All right. Movie begins with reports of the Soviet Union taking over the world. NATO has fallen, and only the U.S. left standing. It's September, and we see Jed drop his brother, Matt, and his friend off at high school. Jed was a quarterback back in the day. The students are listening to the teacher drone on about Genghis Khan when soldiers begin parachuting down from the sky. The teacher goes to investigate, and he's shot and killed. Soldiers begin to shoot up the school, and the kids make a run for it.
I'm just shocked that the teacher knows Russian.
I don't think he's
Yeah,
Russian.
he came out, started speaking to the guys in Russian. I'm like, what's going on? That's my first thing that I wrote. I was like, I'm really overstimulated, and why does the teacher just know Russian?
I don't remember that. That's funny. You know what? When you're a teacher in the 80s, you had to learn Russian.
And you had to learn all languages.
You had to learn all languages, I mean, how can you teach history?
What is it called? Polyglot?
Polyglot, yeah. Matt's almost killed when Jed comes back for him. Jed picks up Matt and a bunch of the boys. It's funny. He picked up a bunch of boys. There were girls at that school too. He's like, nah. I'm here
No,
for the
I don't
boys.
even think that he was like, I'm picking up the boys. I think he just went and got his friend, and then other people just started jumping into his car. And I think that the girls at the school were just like, we're going to hide instead of trying to run away.
Maybe that's true. They were the smart ones. They're like, you know what?
Yeah.
The Russians. I'm just going to go with you guys. I'm good. I don't want to get hurt.
Or like, I don't know. I feel like there's two ways. There's like, I know there's like fight or flight, but then there's also hide. Like some people just stay put and hide. And I saw a bunch of like girls in the movie hiding in behind cars, and they were like, no, let's drive away. Action, let's go.
Did you have a hard time watching the school shooting? I mean, it's not a school shooting, but it is a school shooting.
Not really.
Because it's not really the sad school shootings that we live through now, right? That was more of an invasion situation.
Yeah.
I watched this movie. And like, where does this take place? It's supposed to take place in like Colorado?
Yeah.
Are the Soviets really dropping parachutes and infantry into Colorado? Like, is that what we're doing?
My first thought, why are we like going after civilians? Like that breaches, what is it? The
Geneva Convention. I mean, they try to take over land, right? But why would you?
But you do that after you have to conquer the capital. Like that's kind of how it works.
The capital's on the ocean.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. I always go like, where is this place? That there's probably 14 people in this town. Maybe really honestly like about 6,000 people in this town. And I'm like,
why would you care about this town in specific?
Right. Yeah. So The crew drive by town and see that it's overrun by Soviet and Cuban soldiers. One of the boys, Arturo.
Oh, I actually even wrote, is this an army base or something? Like, why are they here?
Like if they had like an army installation there, or you're right. Or like that area right there is in charge of like the Western Electrical Board or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would be strategic as opposed to like, we're just going to take out this little town of people. Like we're going to fly into Russia and just drop into like this little burg of 1,400 people.
Colorado.
Yeah. Find their Colorado and just take over. I mean, I bet you they would be like, you can have it. You know what I'm saying? It's fine. You guys are, well, I don't know why you guys want that.
I mean, they don't care about Colorado anyway.
They have great skiing there. I don't know. I mean, I don't get it. No offense to Colorado. I wouldn't take over anything other than the capital or the big cities that have, 1 million people. But
at least it's not one of the square states.
Oh my gosh, we sound like the elite here. We're like, we live in the tiniest little suburb as well. Nobody would want this town.
Yeah, no one wants this town either. I'm just saying, like, you would go for a city.
Yeah.
Like, if they were in Kansas, like, it would be like no one to take over there.
We do have people in Kansas that listen to this pod.
So I don't think so.
So no shots fired.
No one in Kansas cares about movies.
Oh my goodness, you speak wrongly. We do have, I will show you later. We have almost every state covered by a listener of some sort. So thank you very much. And all you all in Kansas and Colorado. I've been to Colorado. It's a lovely state.
Would you go to a city though?
I did go to Denver. I did go to Denver. And I mean, that's where the airport's at. They don't have an airport in this little town. They drive by the town and see that it's overrun by Soviet and Cuban soldiers. One of the boys, Arturo, who they call Aardvark, sees his dad get captured by troops.
I don't think his name was ever Arturo.
They did. I saw it. I saw the captions that said Arturo. I thought immediately the first and only Latino in that whole area. Everybody else is white.
Even in the credits, his name was Aardvark.
I know that, but I heard the guy call him Arturo, his dad, before he got captured by the troops. Jed drives off to avoid being stopped by the troops. The boys decide to hide out in the mountains. They have to avoid more soldiers and roadblocks to get there. These guys would go out into the mountains and hunt, and so I would die. Day 2, I would freeze to death. Or
it would be like a Lord of the Flies situation. They should start killing each other.
Yeah, I have slacks. Like my shoes have holes in them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I wear dress shoes. Like it'd be like out there freezing. But if I were a teacher back then, I would know Russian, so I'd be okay. On the way out of town.
Well, he got shot in the head, so maybe not.
Yeah, I guess not. Didn't help. I guess it didn't help that he knew Russian. On the way out of town, Jed stops off at a gas station. There, the owner tells the boys to load up on weapons and supplies and survive in the mountain. As they escape, they see choppers and jets fighting and tanks on the ground. Meanwhile, in town, Colonel Bella, a Latino revolutionary, is working with Russian General Stalinikov to take over and occupy the town. This is where I was really confused. I'm like, what's this do? Obviously, there was Nicaraguan, represent, we're Nicaraguense, and Cuban at the time. In the 80s, they had communist ties, not really, but really, you know what I mean?
Well, the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Right. And so, we were afraid of those two countries. Although that's the reason I am in America. So, yeah, we left political asylum in the early 80s. So. At camp in the mountains, Danny the youngest begins crying. He's worried about his family. Daryl, the high school class president, says they should turn themselves in. Jed says no, and they tussle. This is where he's like, no, we're not going to. And he kind of fights him. Right off the bat, I'm like, why are you going to fight each other?
Or just let him leave. Like,
just let him leave, yeah. He's not going to tell anybody where he's at. But you're right, Jed has that aggressive alpha male kind of boss attitude.
And he automatically assumes he's the leader. And I'm like...
But he's the oldest. So,
it's true, but your school president is there. You know what I mean?
No, he's not in high school anymore. Jed, no, he dropped the boys off in high school. Oh. He used to be the quarterback back in the day. Like maybe he's like 3 or 4 years older than them.
Oh.
So he's like 22 or something like that. While the other kids are like 15, 16, 17. The group decides to camp out in the mountains to avoid getting killed. The group is Jed, his brother Matt, Matt's best friend Robert, Arturo, or Aardvark, Danny, and Daryl. Time passes and it's October. I'm telling you, I wouldn't get to October. I'd be dead. Day 3, I'd be like freezing. I'm just going to turn
There's
myself
also
in.
too many boys. I can't remember all of their names. And I didn't know. That was one of my main problems. I kept getting confused. I was like, what's going on? Who's fighting with who? I don't remember any of their names. Was that his brother that died? Who was it that just died? You know, they didn't have any defining character, like, looks or anything.
Yeah, because they're all bundled up half the time.
Yeah, and a lot of them wear the same outfit at a certain point when they start taking the uniforms.
Yeah.
So it was kind of hard to remember. At least between the two girls, you had the defining thing of one has long and one has short hair.
Yeah. By the way, all these actors, we know who they all are. Jed is Patrick Swayze. We saw him in Ghost. We saw him in Dirty Dancing. Then the girl, Tony, is the girl from Dirty Dancing, and she's in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. The other girl is the girl from Some Kind of Wonderful. She's the beautiful girl that everybody is like falling in love with. That was her. So
I like when two actors that are in a different movie are in a second movie together.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
I recently found out, I always knew that these two characters, Saiki K and Kyo from Fruits Basket, are the same voice actor in English, but I didn't know that each of their love interests that they don't like back, like the second love interest, is the same voice actor too. So it's like in every universe, she's always pining after him, and he's like, I don't like you.
That's funny. It's October now. They're hunting and fishing for food. Robert hunts a deer and gets his first kill. Jed and Matt tell him he needs to drink the blood to get the spirit of the deer. He does it, says, not that bad. What'd you think of that scene?
I didn't like it. I thought he was messy unnecessarily. Because he, like, poured all the blood down his face. I was like, you could have just drunk it like a normal person. And also...
He's drinking blood. Who's drinking, like... How do you drink blood like a normal person? You have to do it like... Ah.
No. And these are your only clothes. Like, you're in the woods, and now they're covered in blood. Like, sure. You just messed everything up for yourself.
You can't even wash them.
And they didn't bring water. That was the most annoying thing to me. They brought like liters and liters and liters of Coke. Soda, Coca-Cola cans, and they didn't think to bring any water.
The radiator was out and they had to pee in it because they didn't have any water, but they had plenty of Cokes, which Mom brought up at the time. Said that it was funny. The group decides to go into town and see that it's completely occupied by the Soviets. Tanks and military weapons are everywhere. They visit a store and the owner, Alicia, tells them to go away. They're being searched for. Jed asks about his dad, and she tells him that he's at re-education camp. This is where the Soviets put people who they deem as a threat to their occupation. So very internment camp, very concentration camp, very prisoner of war, even though they didn't do anything. They were civilians, but they were just worried they were going to be troublemakers. The group visits the re-education camp. Jed and Matt see their father, and he tells them to go away and not cry for him ever again. Tells them to go back to the mountains to survive. And then as they're leaving, he yells at them to avenge him. Avenge me.
This is when I realized why Jed's so insufferable. Because his dad's just as insufferable. And also very misogynistic thinking to be like, you don't have emotions. Don't show them ever again. Like, very misogynistic, I feel.
Yeah. I would think like, don't cry for me. Don't waste your tears. Turn this into something to make you survive. But it wasn't about that. It was about like, be a man.
Yeah.
Be a man. There's a scene in The Godfather, that's a quote, where he like slaps the guy. He starts crying. He slaps him. He's like, be a man. Like, it's a very famous scene. No, it was like that. Like, be a man. Don't cry. Men don't cry.
Yeah. And the whole like avenge me is so annoying.
So stupid. So dumb.
Like, it's like you're living just fine. Like, your kids are the ones that are fending in the wild in the mountains. You're just fine. Yeah,
the avenge me is fine. Although he gets killed later, but yeah. On the way back to the mountain, they stop at Mr. Mason's house. Tells them about the Soviet occupation. Also tells Robert his dad is dead. Mr. Mason gives them horses, a radio, and asks them to watch over his granddaughters, Erica and Tony. They all take off for the mountains. Later at camp, they see some Soviet sightseers getting close to their location. They're out there taking pictures of the scenery. Soviets spot the kids and chase after them. The kids fight for their lives and kill all 3 soldiers. They take their weapons and go back to camp. The team is distraught by the killing, except Robert, who's happy to strike back. Robert becomes pretty dark and violent. He really enjoys it. He even starts making marks on his gun for every kill. So he's counting all the people he kills.
I don't like it.
Yeah. The girls, I also thought the girls were pretty rad. They killed a lot of people. They were in the war themselves. They were shooting guns. They weren't just sitting back or doing anything. They were fighting too.
I felt bad for Tony though, because she was always the bait.
The bait, yeah.
And I was like, they didn't even take turns. It was just always her.
Yeah, Erica was too scared.
I guess Erica's just a better shot or something, but they always sent Tony out.
They're like, Tony's a cuter one. Send her out. I'm like, no, what are you doing? But it's true. Only Tony.
Yeah.
No Erica at all. You're right. Colonel Bella is angry about the 3 dead soldiers. He talks to the mayor, who's Daryl's dad. The mayor throws shade at Jed and Matt. In retaliation, Bella lines up some prisoners, including Jed and Matt's dad. Then they execute every one of them. The crew watch on from afar and are devastated. Jed tells Matt not to cry. He wants him to turn his tears into something else, and Robert wants to fight back. Jed was crying at the re-education camp. He was crying for his dad, and then his dad's like, man up, bro. And then Jed tells the younger brother later, don't cry. Turn this into like anger. Turn this into killing passion. The crew begins to set traps to kill Soviet soldiers. They use Tony as bait and then shoot soldiers at a gas station. They make another attack and start tagging their name everywhere, the Wolverines, after their high school mascot. Colonel Bella is furious and wants to get them because they're causing morale to dip.
It's just like self-incriminating. Like, why are they putting that now? They know it's a high school group of kids.
I think they always knew. There was a scene later where I think Colonel Bella was talking to somebody and they have their pictures up on the wall. Like little snapshots of them. So they knew who it was. It's November now and Erica finds an American co-pilot, Colonel Andrews. He got shot down and he joins the Wolverines and tells them the situation of the nation. There's a section called Free America where they fight off the Soviets.
Well, they were told this before by
Mr. Mason?
Yeah, because he's like, I'm sure you would be in Free America by now. And they heard that information and they still didn't leave.
Yeah, why didn't they go to Free America?
I think their gas had run out, but then they just got horses. So I didn't really understand why they decided to stay.
Especially if you know that your parents are already killed.
Yeah.
So, like, what's the point of even staying in that town? Go to a free area where you're safe. They end up leaving. 2 of them survive and they go to Free America, but no one else does. It was really weird. The area they're currently in, though, is behind enemy lines. Europe isn't helping, but China is. Nuclear weapons have been used on U.S. soil and throughout the world. It's December and the Wolverines, with Andrew's help, attack convoys and even free the prisoners inside the re-education camps. I guess that's what they wanted to do, save the people in the town. They're tactical and smart and are really hurting the Soviets. Erica begins to fall in love with Andrew, whose wife he believes is dead. Andrew tells the crew that what they are doing is getting noticed by the U.S. The U.S. plans on sending special forces in to help out in spring. Here's another thing, like, how does he know?
Maybe he was one of the special forces.
I know, but they just did a little bit of killing here and there. It's when he came in that they started doing a lot of stuff together. How would America know? How would they get the news? And then how would he know? He doesn't have like a walkie-talkie. He's not talking to him.
Well, they were probably briefed on the plans before he left. It's not like he's a rando. He's a part of the military.
You're right. There is that love-ish thing where she's flirting with him. He's kind of flirting back, but he does bring up his wife, how he wants to see her. It wasn't a real active relationship. Also, he's like 10 years, 15 years older than her, because he's a colonel. So he's like in his 30s maybe, and she's like a teenager. So I thought it was kind of weird, but like I said, I didn't think it was an active relationship. I didn't think they were actually together.
Yeah, but it's still a romance.
Yeah. I mean, it was more like she had a crush on him. It's January and U.S. tanks and jets start coming to help. The crew are stuck in the middle of a tank fight. Arturo freaks out, gets himself killed. Andrew tries to help and is killed, but not before he cripples one tank with grenades. They have a funeral, and the team wants to quit, but Jed says no. Once again, Jed's the one that tells people what's happening. He's kind of like the dictator of that group.
Yeah, and if people want to quit, then you shouldn't force them, because quitting means not killing people. So you're like actively forcing them to kill people.
I would say the only person he could tell no to would be his brother, who was a minor, and the 2 girls. And the reason I say the 2 girls is because Mr. Mason said
That you have
to watch out, take care of them.
Yeah, but taking care of them doesn't mean putting them in danger by using one of them as bait and
Yeah, true. I wonder if Mr. Mason were like that, but they were in hiding. They were under the house. He felt that they were in danger, either of being taken or hurt or killed or like becoming like a slave, you know? And so he preferred that they go live in the mountains with the boys, which obviously was not very safe either. So I would say he has that. But the other people should leave. Daryl should be able to leave whenever he wants.
Yeah.
Like, let him leave. Why do you... The guy's not... You know what I mean? It doesn't even matter. In February, the Soviets call in Brachenko, a specialist sent in to hunt down the Wolverines. He begins with sending special forces into the mountains. They have a homing device and it leads them to the Wolverines. The team is prepared and kills all the soldiers except one. They ask the Soviet what this device is and he won't talk. Then they realize that the device points to Daryl. Daryl admits that he went into town one night and swallowed a bug to lead the Soviets to the team. Jed tries to kill Daryl, but can't. Robert, on the other hand, has no qualms and kills Daryl and the Soviets. So they've been living together for 3 months. He kills them without remorse. Just shoots them.
I know, and it's not even like his fault. They forced him to swallow it.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have told them, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Or just not gone back to them.
It seemed like first off, he went to town. And he should have just stayed in town with it. I mean, maybe they forced him to go back, but then he could have told him. I don't know. I don't think he was innocent. I don't think he should have been killed, though. They should have just let him go. Make him walk down the mountain, and then they all leave that area and go find another area to live. In case they're worried that he would tell them where they're at. The Wolverines are scouting out a new transport convoy when they notice it drops some food. They can go and get it and start grubbing. Shortly afterwards, they are attacked by helicopters. Robert is killed and Tony gets shot. Tony wants Jed to kill her, but he can't, so he leaves a grenade with her. The rest of the Wolverines escape. Meanwhile, a Soviet finds Tony and is blown up by the grenade.
Yeah, it's definitely like a 3-second romance here.
She flirted with him with a little orange on his head.
No, but they were like holding each other and he's like, I can't kill you. And she's like, it's okay. Just give me the thing. And it was like a whole thing.
Ow. They're like brother-sister love could be too.
No, Daddy, you need to rewatch the scene.
You need to rewatch the scene. This is the second time or third time or fourth time or fifth time that I've seen it.
Yeah, but clearly you don't understand.
Mom thought that it was a trap. Did you think it was a trap dropping all the food off the back? Because then the helicopters show up.
I mean, they should have much later.
They did. They ate all the food there in the world, and they stayed there out in the open. They could have just left and hid, right? So I don't think it was a trap, but Mom's like, don't eat the food. She thought it was poisoned or something, right?
Yeah. I mean, a fruit is the most poisonable thing, I think. Let's
put a little syringe of death in there. Matt and Jen make a plan to attack the town. It will create a diversion so Erica and Danny can escape to free America. They start the attack and kill many soldiers. Matt is shot in the chest by Brachenko. Jed kills him but gets shot in the process. Jed carries Matt away from the shooting as Bella watches on. They sit on a bench together and die. This is the most confusing part for me. When I was little, now even, Jed calls the guy out because he has his back to him. Could have just shot him in the back, right? But calls him and says, hey, bro. I don't know what he says. And then the guy turns around, shoots him, and then he kills him. And so that's why they both die.
And I don't know. He is self-incriminated because he was behind him about to shoot him. And then he says, you lose. And so the guy turns around and then he tries to shoot him and he gets shot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So stupid. Why does Bella not kill them? He's been searching for them. And then during the time that they're running off, there is machine gun fire, explosions. The world is coming to an end. Who's doing the attacking?
I think they're just bombing all the places in hopes that the kids are in them.
No, there's active shooting back and forth, it sounds like a war zone. I thought, wait, what's going on? Did America come and start like ending it?
I don't know.
Because Bella kind of like says, it's over. Just go.
Well, Kia didn't want to be in the war the whole time. He tried putting in his resignation and going back to his wife and stuff. Like, he was never about it.
Yeah, I remember thinking, I'm like, the movie ended so weird. I think he even said
something like that he wasn't even the person, that someone had just died and they moved him into that position.
Right. And if he's Cuban or Nicaraguense, I think he was Cuban. Well, he doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they end up dying on the bench together. Everyone dies except for Erica and Danny. They're the only ones that survive. They get to free America. Then there's a voiceover at the end showing a monument that was made for the Wolverines. We're led to assume that America eventually wins the war, but we don't see anything. And from what I heard is that originally didn't have that voiceover at the end of the movie. And like executives were like, wait. So America lost? Like we got occupied? Like, no. We can't have a movie like this end. We need to destroy Russia and beat the Soviet Union. And so that's why they put that voiceover. The end. Could this movie still be made today?
Probably with a different country.
Really? You don't think Russia would be the one that we would probably be afraid of?
No.
Yeah. I think
the US has become very isolationist.
Yeah, that's true. I think if we're afraid of someone attacking anyone, it would be like ourselves. Like a civil war. And I think Colorado would be like the same. Like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm not trying to fight no one. People are like, let's leave Colorado alone. They're a beautiful country. I mean, they're a beautiful state. Beautiful mountains and great skiing and wonderful people. I don't know. I'm just trying to get our listeners back from Colorado because you bashed on them.
I didn't bash Colorado. I just said no one would be invading them.
You said, yeah, that's true. I did too. Yeah, probably a different country. Maybe. Well, there's no Soviet Union, right? There's no USSR anymore. So, what else? Is there anything that you found in your notes that could be made today?
I don't think they'd have that relationship with the teenage girl and the old man.
Yeah, probably not. Although in a movie now, they all would have hooked up. Like Matt would have dated Erica. Danny would have dated, Tony.
Well, they already did that. They gave both girls love interest.
They did not. They did it. Okay. Well, I mean, maybe as Erica and Danny take off, although she said she'll never love anyone again. The most dramatic. I will never love anyone. As long as I live. What else?
I don't know. I just think the main character wouldn't be made today because he's just like an Andrew Tate alpha male.
Right. We can see that. Does it pass a Bechdel test?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. Bechdel test is a test to check for female representation in a movie. There are 3 criteria. Criteria number 1, they have 2 or more named females.
Yeah, there's Tony and
Erica.
I'm so used to Danny being a girl's name.
Sure. Criteria number 2, do they talk to each other?
No, but they refer to each other as much. There was only one scene where I know they were both together, but only one of them was speaking, where she was talking to the other guy and was like, hey, we're as good as any of you, me and her. Mm-hmm. But they don't talk to each other.
Yeah, I don't think they do. So it does not pass the Bechdel test. Yeah, I don't think it did pass the Bechdel test. They barely did any talking, to be honest. Tony was just bait for every other scene. She was just acting cute and then had people chase after her so she could kill them in the face. Anything else before we finish the pod?
No.
Thank you for tuning into Papi Approved Movies.
If you like this episode, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcast app or like our podcast on YouTube.
We put out an episode twice a month.
If you want to see extra podcast content, follow our TikTok at Papi Approved Movies.
If you want to suggest a movie for us to watch and critique,
email us at papiapprovedmovies@gmail.com.
That's papiapprovedmovies@gmail.com. No spaces, no caps.
We'll try our best to get to your suggestion, and remember, it has to be PG-13.
I'm Papi.
And I'm Natalie.
See you next time.
Bye.